This has very strong Egyptian symbology. And when I saw this card, it was just really striking and it was really powerful. It indicates to me some sort of an eclipse, okay? And I feel like it could be the moon covering the sun, or the earth, the shadow of the earth covering the sun. And the sun indicates a very strong masculine energy. It indicates the self, the ego. And so I feel like for some of you, there is a major male figure that is eclipsed out of your life. Okay. So, and I'm seeing, like, like potentially a brother you try to help, but you can no longer help. A father, you try to, tell them what's like the rightful path to walk towards, and, against their better judgment, they're not able to get there. So you've had to eclipse somebody out of your life. And for some of you, a past relationship partner, somebody who might have been very ego driven. Okay. It's all about me. It was not about the relationship. It was just, they were hanging on to this relationship with you mainly because, it stroked their ego. It made them feel good. Whenever the world has dealt them a blow, they come running back to you. And so I feel like you are turning your back, literally turning your back, eclipsing something or somebody out of your life, okay? Mainly because you understand that you can no longer give yourself to this situation. And then I also feel what's right underneath it is the Ace of Cups, okay? Once upon a time, there was great love involved in this relationship. And now you're in a position where you can no longer feed into this love. Some of you, the love has run out. And so you're turning your back, and you're kind of, they can scratch, they can pick at it. And I feel like you're just not giving any more of your energy. I feel for some of you, this love is eclipsed because there is a new love that is as comparable. The message I'm hearing here is once upon a time. Okay. So I feel like there was the beginning, whatever that situation is, or whoever that person is in your life. It was a very fairy tale puppy love, like overly romanticized, overly idealized type of a love, where you thought in your naivety. Okay. And in Scorpios, I say that very loosely because you guys are very realistic. But a lot of the times the emotions can take over, and, we're all guilty of this, where we see things and we romanticize things, and we imbue characteristics into a love situation that might not be there. So I feel like you might have been a little bit blinded by this love situation, or it started in such a fairy tale romance that you thought it was going to be that way. And I feel like, something happens. There was a wrench in the works. There were a lot of ego issues associated with this union, where the other person was not ready for the relationship. They're not ready for the responsibilities. Even if it's a family situation, they're not ready for the responsibilities. If it's a father, if it's a mother, for example, they were all about themselves. They weren't about being a good parent. If it's a love relationship partner, they were all about me. They weren't about the partnership. So I feel like it was a rude awakening for you. And it took many, many, many bouts of disappointment for you to get to this point. And then some of you have found somebody new, okay? The Ace of Cups is about new love. And I feel like for many of you, there is a new love that is just as amazing and fairy tale-like. But I feel like this new love is built on mutual goals, mutual career paths, mutual like expansion. It's built on something very, very solid. We have here the Three of Pentacles. I see this as like communication that is all about self-improvement, okay? Constructive criticism, giving and receiving, but also like learning how to be a better partner, learning how to be a better friend, learning about responsibilities, learning about, equal give and take. So this is a card that is very, it's very oriented when it comes to like consultation, asking other people for advice, receiving feedback, not being defensive when it comes to constructive criticism. So in this new love relationship, there's a lot of growth. There's a lot of room for expansion. There's also just, a lot of admiration and a lot of like working together to build something of greater value. Whereas in the past, the situation has not always been positive. So now you're in something new. And we have here the Three of Wands, waiting for your ship to finally come in, letting go, untying, okay, unraveling of this ribbon here, to get rid of baggage, to get rid of emotional baggage, or like self-defeating things that we tell ourselves, or just, burdens from the past, in order to free yourself for this new love that is in the picture for you. So that message and the image came in very powerfully. So I feel like a lot of the times, and this is why, and a lot of people don't like Mercury retrograde. I don't like it. I have a lot of air, and it affects my communication. And I'm an Aquarius, so it also affects a lot of electronics around me. They malfunction like just left and right. So I don't really enjoy Mercury in retrograde cycles. However, the best insights that I've ever come to terms with, the best, long-standing problems that I was not able to solve, the solutions come in during Mercury in retrograde cycles. And things that I thought I could put up with, they kind of implode, and they become very overwhelming. And it's basically a signal for me to let things go. And I feel like you're coming across very similar energies where you weren't really sure which way to go. And this Mercury retrograde cycle pretty much solidifies your decisions, okay? So for example, there was a person, right? And you're just like, can we stay friends? Can we get back together? Can we be cordial with one another? I feel like this Mercury retrograde cycle, you're going to start to feel somebody infringing upon your boundaries, somebody overstepping their boundaries with you, somebody telling you what to do, somebody who's not respectful. When you say no, no means no, and they're not really respectful of that. So I feel like somebody who's trying really hard to push your buttons, to get your attention, to try to revive something that they used to have with you. And their efforts will become very obvious. The way they go about it will not be pleasant. And I see that you're going to start to realize that, you know what, this is their pattern. This is like a running theme with them. You're going to be able to be you're going to be sensitive to the imbalance in the relationship with them, to the point where you will make up your mind not to tolerate it and eclipse this person from your life. Okay. So I definitely see a lot of unraveling. Okay. No longer being bound to something and moving ahead to a new love situation, a new environment where it's a lot healthier. It's a lot more about communication. It's a lot more about growth and expansion, and walking towards somebody that is a lot more compatible and a more like you. But the bottom line is, I feel some of you are able to leave the past behind because you have the support of a grand new love. Okay, so the first 6 cards are pretty much reinforcing the energy of that image I'm seeing. Okay, so here's the thing. I mentioned this with Taurus, okay? So Taurus is a fellow fixed sign, and this is a common theme when it comes to fixed signs, okay? So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, okay? Being a fixed sign basically means that, when we say we're going to do something, even if we're sick, even if we're on our deathbed, we drag ourselves out of bed in order to finish that thing because we promised somebody we would do it. So there's a lot of, I feel like, it's like you're a man of your word. You're a woman of your word. When you say you're going to do something, people hold you to it. They have a great deal of respect for you, how trustworthy you are, as well as how stable and dependable you are, okay? It's a very strong virtue of a fixed sign. And then the flip side of that, okay, the shadow side of being a fixed sign, especially for you guys, Scorpio, is that you hang on to situations for a little bit too long, okay? You have those pincers, okay? And then you grab onto situation, even when something is not good for you, okay? Mainly because I feel for you guys, it's that emotional investment, the sunk cost, okay? I've spent this much amount of time on this person. And I feel like a lot of the times, your emotions take over. When you're in love, you love desperately with, your body, your heart, your soul. And it's really hard for you to hold back when it comes to somebody that you love. You would go to the ends of the earth for the other person. Okay. That's how devoted you are. And I feel like there was a situation in the past where you gave so much of yourself. There was nothing. There was like barely anything left for you. Okay. You ran yourself ragged for this person. And then you realize that I feel like it took something away from you. It was like one of those things where, yes, you can recover from it. You can step away, start your life all over again, but it did something to you. It knocked that sense of naivety from you. It taught you a lot about, loving yourself first. It taught you a lot about, setting healthy boundaries. And it taught you a lot about, really putting yourself first more than anything. Okay, so in this situation, I feel like there's a lot of fears. Okay, so like in this new love situation, everything is very stable. There's great communication. There's great passion, chemistry, but you don't want to play the fool. You're not going to rush into it, with a blindfold on. You're still going to be very methodical. You're still going to give all of yourself to this relationship. And I feel like in the back of your mind, it's always like, when is the other shoe going to drop? When are the temper tantrums or the selfishness from this person going to come in? But I feel like you are aware that you're dealing with a new person. You are aware that there's a lot of great communication here. You are aware that this situation is very reciprocal, but you're still perpetually, skeptical about the connection. So that's the first thing. I feel like you guys have really strong intuition, but when you're in love, you overlook a lot of things. Okay. So I have here the Magician, sleight of hand. Okay. So the words that come out with this card here is like concealment. Okay. Distraction, a red herring, somebody creating a distraction to kind of like lead the audience or the viewers to focus on something else that they want to show rather than something else that other people might be curious about. So it's like sleight of hands, the trick. Okay, it's like the trickster. Not that you're dealing with somebody like this, but I feel like you are very, very skeptical, and you are also trying to unearth. You are also trying to like figure out information. You're also trying to like you're basically trying to cover yourself so that you don't get hurt. So I do see a situation where you're potentially, you're curious about a lot of things. I also feel like, looking at somebody's social media, I'm also feeling like wanting to access somebody's cell phone, wanting to access somebody's social media just to see what they're up to. Mainly because I feel like there isn't cause for concern, but I feel like you're curious. Okay. And I feel like there was a past situation that left you feeling like I need to, preemptively find out these things just to make sure they're not doing anything. Well, the problem with that is whenever we set out to confirm a negative, so for example, I want to make sure, so just for an example, okay, I'm dating Bob. I want to make sure that Bob is not cheating on me. I'm going to go through his cell phone. I'm going to go through his email. I'm going to go through his, Instagram account just to make sure that he's not talking to another girl. And so I hack into his cell phone, hack into his Instagram, check all of his emails. and then I find nothing. Okay. So I'm trying to confirm a negative that he's not cheating on me. And so, I find nothing. When I find nothing, I'm actually very happy. But then 5 and 6 months later, I'm going to do it again, because we won't stop until we find something positive, right? Like a positive. Oh, he's sending this woman picture. He's sending an email to this other lady. And so I feel like you're very curious. Something is grabbing your attention and you're trying to confirm. You're trying to confirm a negative. And when we try to confirm a negative and we find that negative, we never stop. However, if you have a hunch that, oh, so-and-so is cheating on me, and you find that proof, you're gone, and you will never need to dig into his phone to confirm it again, because you've already found it. So I feel like there is a dicey situation here that some of you might be embarking on, and I just want you to be a little bit careful. If you feel like you don't trust somebody, trust your intuition. But you need to also understand, exactly like, why don't I trust this person? Piece together that entire narrative and that entire story before you jump the gun. Okay? Piece together the entire history that you have with this person and try to figure out, have they ever lied in the past? If they've lied in the past, what's stopping them now? So that might be your answer. On the other hand, it's like, have they ever lied to me? Have they ever done anything deceptive? Have they ever lied to other people? Have they ever cheated? If that history of, lying and cheating has not been there, then you don't really have enough to go by. So I feel like, past history is very indicative of future. And so that might be where you need to look to figure out whether or not you can 100% invest in this person or invest in this situation, because I feel like somebody from the past really left their imprint on you. It's made you very doubtful. It's made you very skeptical. It's made you paranoid. And I also feel like it's made you scared to open yourself up. Okay, it's made you like jaded when it comes to people. And so you're just trying to protect yourself. So I feel like, if there are like hunches and things like that, it's not really stemming from something that is not coming from this relationship or this person. I feel like it's the fears and the insecurities that the previous person has caused. Okay, that's triggering things in you. Okay. So that's the first 6 cards that I am sensing here. There was another message that came through. I wrote it down because, I've had this spread laid out for the past few days, but I just could not get a coherent message. But now it's coming through. Okay, so what came through is this Emperor, and I'm hearing that Beatles song, I'm the walrus, but I'm seeing this person, okay? This is a person who is like a person in a position of authority, okay? He's the emperor. He rules empires. He rules kings. He has a lot of wisdom, he has wisdom, he has experience. He's just really, really good. He's somebody that everybody comes to for advice, for guidance, for answers, okay? However, I was looking at this card, and then the message that I'm hearing is the sun is setting on his reign. The sun is setting on this empire, meaning it's going away. The power, the prestige, the heyday, the glory. I feel like it's fading.